Recently, a friend and I went to the Seppelt Winery, about 220 kilometres out of Melbourne. And I'm sharing some photos, and the song is an Afrikaans song called Klein Bietjie Wyn, which means a little bit of wine. So I'm showing a photo here, the accommodation. You can stay here. I'm also showing you a photo of the ventilation hut, and that'll make more sense in a second. Here's some of the old wines that they have. So we went on a tour, and you go basically underground, and they have these long tunnels called drives, and there's 3 kilometres worth of these drives. Here is a bit of the inside. Now this beam came from Portland in America, Portland, Oregon, and it's one piece of tree that made this, and it came to Portland in Victoria, so it's come a long way. And here's some photos from before we go into the drives, and here is some of the photos of the sizes of the bottles, and I've put my hat there for scale. And funnily enough, they have biblical names, and the biggest one is called Methuselah. Here's some photos of the dosing equipment, how they mix different wines. And here's when we're actually going underground. So they're called drives, and basically they could store, I think it's 1 million bottles, no, 3 million bottles. And they started digging these drives in the 1860s and right up to the 1950s, and they show you around. It's about 7 metres underground. And here you can see that these bottles have different fungus on them. Apparently that came from France, and the fungus spread. They tried to make champagne here, but it didn't really work. And so they ended up making first sparkling Shiraz in the country. And the ground here is made out of decomposed granite, which apparently is quite easy to dig, but yet it's strong and doesn't collapse, which is a good thing because you don't want that to happen while you're on a tour. The tour was very interesting, and they showed us around, and the man explained how the bottles are domed, and that's for the pressure to be sort of matched by the shape of the bottom of the wine bottle. Other wines have adopted that shape as well, and it's very interesting. They took us all around, but not for 3 kilometres, and the good thing is if you get lost, you just go down. They showed us this room that you can book called the Brandy Nook. 12 people can dine here, and it's often reserved for famous people because it's not very cheap. The former Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser used to represent this region, so they had a special hole in the wall for him that's now since been emptied. Some other dignitaries also have a little stash built into this room. It's an interesting place, and it's worth considering if you have a big birthday coming up. If the room is too small for 12, you can rent one of the other drives or part of the drive, so you can get a lot more people in there. They also have another room that's got a dedicated cellar with much older wines. The man's telling us a little bit about it here.
Or by how old a lot of these bottles are. While these ones are just out and about here for display, we do have some private collections underground here and some former experimental wines that we'll have a look at as well. So we'll look at some of those through you.
No winery tour is complete without actually tasting some of the products, and I must say this rosé was very nice, but make sure that you have a dedicated driver. Now here's a dad joke from my good friend John.
What did the grapes say when it was stood on?
Dunno.
Didn't say anything, just let out a little wine.
So that's the end of my little video. If you're ever out Ararat Way, it's worth a trip out to Great Western to the Seppelt Winery. Really enjoyed the day out. And my next video is coming out on the 9th of December, and it's going to be in Afrikaans for the Afrikaans speaking people on here. Have a good day, everyone. Peace out.